Wizard family, beer enthusiasts, anybody following the competition between Germany and Illinois this season. Welcome to Battle of the Beer Advent Calendars. It is day 21. We are almost there, almost to the finish line. And unfortunately, well, we'll talk about that in a minute. It's not looking good for somebody in this competition. Anyway, before we jump right into that, make sure you click the subscribe button and join us. Check out the other stuff on the channel. There's a ton of music, beer reviews, gaming, all kinds of different stuff that I do on this channel. Like 1,400 and some videos now we're up to. It's just crazy. When I started this channel, I never thought that I'd be anywhere near this much just followers and videos and all of the content that's out there. So hopefully you'll find something you enjoy. If you enjoy this, let me know in the comments. Let me know if you've had these beers before. Let me know what you think and your opinions, etc., etc. If you're playing the home game, again, we're on day 21. And this is a non-scientific review where each day we're pitting a German beer advent calendar versus an Illinois beer advent calendar. Collections of small craft private brews from each region. And telling you day to day which one I like better. Most days, almost every day, the styles are completely different. And they definitely reflect the trends and the tastes and the interests of each region. Germany's usually very traditional with their beer styles and flavors, and they have a lot of rules around what you can and can't do. And over here in the States, we love to experiment with all kinds of stuff, and I'm pretty particular about my beer. I'm not looking forward to today. We'll see how it goes. I like to make this as educational as possible, so I try to include information about the beers, the breweries, anything I can think of. So today's going to be a little weird because on the one hand, there's not a whole lot of information about the German beer in the brewery. I think the website is down. I couldn't find it. And then on the Illinois side, I actually have a funny story about this brewery personally. So we'll get started. Up first from Germany, we have the Herrngiersdorf Schlossbrauerei's this is a mouthful. Hallertauer Hopfen Cuvee or Cuvee. Very cool can. Something that worries me about this can. You see those? You see what those are right there? Those are hops. Now, hops go in beer, but some beers have more hops than others. And I'm not necessarily a fan of beer with lots of hops. And usually when they put hops on the can and hops in the name, it means it's going to be a hoppy beer. I remember this one from last year, but I don't remember if I liked it. I also couldn't find any information about the brewery. It seems like their website is gone. I found references to it, but I could not find a website anymore for this brewery. So I don't know if it's changed and I'm just not getting redirected correctly. I couldn't find it. My Google Foo failed me today and I could not find this brewery's information. I know that they've been around for a while. They're based in an old, not monastery, castle. There's an old castle where they're built, or an old manor house. Says this unique beer specialty combines the 4 best aroma hops from the Hallertauer region in Bavaria. Looking to see if there's a date. There's not actually a date for the founding of this brewery, but most of these breweries are very old. One description I did find on Beer Advocate, it says the 4 best Hallertauer aroma hops: Pearl Hallertauer Traditional, Hallertauer Mittelfrüher, and Sapphire hops are combined in the Hallertauer hops cuvee and create a special experience with an unmistakable taste. I don't like the sound of that. The golden yellow beer is mild and light in the first sip and changes in the aftertaste to a spicy and hoppy specialty with pleasant freshness. We shall see. I don't know, boys and girls. I don't know. And now, on the U.S. side, from Illinois, we have Pig Mines Brewery. They've got a really cool logo. And we are drinking their Winter Spiced Ale. You could see a lot of ingredients listed there on the bottom. If you've been watching the show, you know I don't particularly care for beers with a lot of flavors. And now, yesterday surprised me. We had a beer yesterday that had, coffee, chocolate, vanilla, cinnamon, and something else. And I actually really liked that beer. That was a good beer right to the finish. That was a good beer. But generally speaking, I don't like a lot of stuff in my beer. And this is a Gose, which is weird. It's called a winter spiced ale, but it is a fruited Gose with pineapple, peach, apple, mango, and holiday spice. If you are familiar, a Gose is a German sour. It's not as sour as what we make over here. It seems like sours in the United States are competing for who can be the most sour candy out there, while a German Gose, a German sour, is just a little sour. It's like lemonade sour. It's not like candy warhead sour. So we'll see how this one is. There's a lot of different fruits in there. I don't know. I like Goses, but Goses generally aren't filled with a bunch of fruit juice. So it's interesting. We'll see. So we're going to start with the German beer out of my Detroit Stein from Stroh's Brewery in Detroit. One of the first Steins added to my collection. One of my few non-German Steins. I only have a couple of non-German Steins. This one's just so cool looking. I don't care. So we're going to try this one. It had a good head on it when I poured it. There's a little bit of head retention after it's been sitting a couple minutes, which is pretty good. It smells a little hoppy, which is not good. So, pros. Actually, it's not too bad as far as hoppy. It is hoppier than, say, a typical like Helles or Lager or Pilsner, but it's not like a pale ale. It's not hitting me like an IPA or pale. It's not nearly that hoppy. It's definitely got that hoppiness to it, but it's not bad at all. It's a little bitter. I'm getting a little bitter aftertaste now in the back of my tongue. But that's pretty good. That's a pretty good beer. It's a little hoppier than I would like, but it doesn't taste gross. Did Ripley walk in? Thought I saw Ripley walking around behind me. All right, let's cleanse that palate before we try this next one. Before we get into this, I told you I had a good story about this. So year before last, my wife and I went on a trip north in Illinois. We went to Starved Rock, which if you've never been there, state park, beautiful, lots of good hiking. We did some shooting at a range up there, and then we had a hotel up in Rockford. And I didn't get to tell you about this brewery. So these guys are in McChesney Park, Illinois, and they've been around for, does it even say? It doesn't say how long they've been up there, but they're up there in McChesney Park, next to Rockford. I'm looking for, I don't see anything as far as when they were founded. So we're up there at the hotel, and this is during COVID. We can't go anywhere. We can't hardly do anything. Actually, it's right toward the end of COVID. And we couldn't even sit on the back patio of the hotel by ourselves. We're like practically the only people in the hotel. And we asked if we could sit on the back deck. The whole reason we picked the hotel was because it had a beautiful deck overlooking a river. And we wanted to sit out there and enjoy a few drinks. And I wanted to have a cigar, and they wouldn't let us go out there. So we actually took our beers and my cigar across the parking lot. We sat on this grassy hill overlooking a parking lot, but we got to sit outside because they wouldn't even let us take chairs outside. They're like, no, you can't do anything fun. So whatever. So we were looking for a brewery / barbecue, or at least a brewery near the hotel to go eat at, and we found this one. And Pig Minds Brewing, right? And it has food, and we're like, oh, that's got to be a barbecue place. It's a vegan place. Thankfully, we didn't go. We looked at the menu before we left because we were like, well, we should see what they've got and what we want. And we started looking at the menu, and I'm like, it's a vegan place. And no offense to vegan, I'm not going to eat at a vegan restaurant. I'm not a vegan. I don't mind vegetables and fruit, but I'm not a vegan. I'm not going to go eat dinner at a vegan place. Because of their branding, we thought they were a barbecue place. They're not. So if you're in Rockford or McChesney Park and you're looking for a barbecue place, don't be fooled by the logo. They don't serve pork. So funny story about that. All right, so the Gose, very cloudy, definitely unfiltered. It did have a good head on it, and absolutely no head retention at all. Like there's not even the slightest hint of foam or head on it after sitting for a minute or two. It's not necessarily a good sign. It pretty much means it's lost every bit of its sort of aromatic carbonation. I mean, it's not going to be flat, but it doesn't have any head on it at all, which is unfortunately not a good sign. It doesn't really smell fruity, which is good. I wouldn't want it to be fruity. All right, well, cheers. It smells, or it tastes immediately like pineapple. Pineapple and mango. It's not that sour, but it doesn't taste at all like beer. 100% does not taste like beer. This tastes like a cider. Like my wife would enjoy this. She loves ciders. That's her drink of choice, is ciders and meads. She's actually doing the Lodi Tap House cider and mead advent calendar herself. It doesn't taste like beer. Period. There's no beer flavor whatsoever in this. It doesn't taste like a Gose. They call it a Gose because it's sour, but it's not. It's cider. This is a sour cider. It's not bad. It tastes good. It's sweet. I would not drink this personally because I don't like sweet beers. That's why I don't drink cider. It's too sweet for me. But I make mead, which is kind of weird. I make mead and I like mead. Yeah, I mean, it tastes like a good sour. I'll have to see what my wife thinks. It's not a beer. It's not a good beer. It doesn't taste bad, though. If you like ciders and you like sour alcoholic drinks, ciders and such, that tastes good. It tastes like pineapple and mango. I like the taste of it. It's just not beer, and this is a beer advent calendar. They may have made it like beer, but they have so overpowered the beer with the fruit juice that it no longer resembles a beer whatsoever. But it is good. Like I said, if you do enjoy ciders, if you like pineapple and mango, especially that, because I don't really get the apple at all, but if you like pineapple and mango, and you enjoy ciders, that's good. That actually tastes really good. But this is a beer review. So while this is not the best beer I've had in the German box, and I probably wouldn't drink this normally, we're going to give it to Germany by default because that's not a beer. So let me know what you think if you disagree in the comments. Jeremy and a couple other people maybe playing the home game may or may not disagree with me. I think Jeremy would actually really like this one because he does tend to like hoppier beers. He even goes so far as to enjoying IPAs. I mean, nobody's perfect, right? Gotta call him out a little bit. But yeah, that's going to be our winner today. All right, thank you guys so much for joining me. Come back tomorrow for day 22. Let me know what you think in the comments. We are getting so close, and unfortunately, Jeremy may have already discovered this, but the last beer, which is usually the best beer in the German box, is not the same beer this year, and I saw it by accident. I'm pretty sure it's a different beer, and that's disappointing because that was always the best one in the box, and I think it's a different beer this time. So anyway, thank you guys so much. I'll see y'all again soon. You have a great one. Much love. Bye.